welcome back to our channel. This week, we will bring to the audience an unbelievable shock: a secret buried for decades is suddenly exposed. Followed by a series of conflicts and betrayals that were thought to have been dormant, while everyone thought the past was far away. A chance discovery caused Chelsea's entire inner world to collapse completely. If you think you know everything about Madison, then prepare yourself mentally, because what is about to be revealed will make you unable to take your eyes off the screen. The terrifying twist about the hidden child and the identity of the father makes all previous assumptions meaningless. Join us to explore the unexpected story in this haunting episode, where every truth is a knife stabbed straight into trust and friendship. Chelsea never thought her life would be turned upside down by a secret that seemed buried in the past of the woman she trusted the most, Madison. For many years, Madison has always been by Chelsea's side as a companion, a confidant, a person who always silently shared and understood. Together they have gone through countless events, pain and even challenging days. Madison is the rare person that Chelsea truly trusts in this world full of lies and calculations. But on a seemingly ordinary day, when Chelsea accidentally discovers a forgotten medical document in Madison's office, an old piece of paper that still holds undeniable information about a birth that took place more than a decade ago, everything begins to fall apart. At first, Chelsea cannot believe her eyes. She read the words over and over again, compared the dates, checked the hospital name, the patient ID, they all matched, they all led back to Madison. It wasn't a mistake. It was a truth that had been carefully hidden in the dark. Chelsea froze, feeling as if her world had collapsed beneath her. From surprise to shock, from shock to doubt. And then the questions kept pouring into her mind. Why had Madison hidden this from her? Who was the child? Where was it now? And most importantly, who was the father? Chelsea began to dig deeper into the few clues she had. Old photos, torn diary entries, fragments of conversations Madison had had on drunken nights, they all came together like a confusing but real picture. Madison had disappeared from the city for more than a year, claiming to be studying abroad in Europe. At that time, Chelsea did not suspect anything, and even threw a farewell party for her best friend. But now, those memories were no longer just beautiful images, but became clues to a harsh truth. Madison did not go to Europe as she said, she stayed in a small town, where she gave birth and hid the true identity of the father. The feeling of betrayal made Chelsea choke. She tried to stay calm and not jump to conclusions, but deep down, she knew that Madison had deceived her perfectly all those years. And what hurt Chelsea the most was not the fact that Madison had a child, but that the man behind the child could be directly related to her life, a ghost from the past that Chelsea thought she had buried forever. She began to review every man who had ever been in close contact with Madison: old friends, work colleagues, and even flings. But the deeper she dug, the more she stumbled upon a name she didn't dare mention: Thomas. Thomas was not only Chelsea's ex, but also the man Madison had always said she didn't like. Chelsea and Thomas had had a passionate, intense, but also dark relationship. They had broken up bitterly after Chelsea discovered Thomas's ambiguous behavior with another woman. She never knew the man's identity, only that it had shattered her heart. And if Chelsea suspected that Madison was that woman, then her entire life had been nothing more than a play directed by her closest friend. Every detail in Chelsea's memory came back to her in a horrifying way. She remembered the look in Madison's eyes when she mentioned Thomas, not exactly hate, but rather a look that hid a storm. She remembered the time Madison suddenly left in the middle of the night after a casual conversation that mentioned Thomas. She remembered seeing Madison freeze when she saw Thomas pass by the coffee shop they often went to. All of these were no longer small things, but silent evidence of terrible betrayal. Unable to bear it any longer, Chelsea turns to the one person who can confirm or disprove it all: Madison's mother. She is the only one who still has her daughter's mementos and diaries from that time. After much hesitation, she decides to show Chelsea a letter that Madison wrote but never sent. In the letter, Madison confesses that she got pregnant by a man she couldn't bring herself to tell, that it was her biggest mistake but also the moment she realized how weak she really was. Madison writes that the man belongs to someone else, that she committed an unforgivable betrayal, and that the birth of the child is a testament to the darkest moment of her life. Chelsea falls into a state of paralysis. She doesn't need any more proof, it's all too obvious. Thomas is the father. Madison is the third person who interfered in her relationship with Thomas. And the child, now a teenager or so, was the result of the ultimate betrayal. Chelsea didn't know what to do with this truth. She felt disgusted, hurt, angry, and confused. Everything she had ever believed in was gone. Madison, the person she had once called a sister, was now nothing more than an anonymous enemy, a venomous snake in the guise of a close friend. But what tormented Chelsea most was the feeling of being manipulated. For years, Madison had lived with her, eaten, worked, laughed, all the while keeping a secret that, if revealed, could shatter everything. Madison's silence wasn't just a choice, it was deliberate cruelty. She had chosen to live as if it had never happened, while Chelsea foolishly trusted her. Chelsea was devastated but still trying to keep her sanity. She knew she couldn't let her emotions get the best of her. Now, the most important thing was to find that child, Thomas and Madison's child, to know the final truth. She needed to see that child, to face the reality, no matter how cruel it was. Chelsea hired a private investigator to follow the trail, and soon she received a piece of information that made her heart stop. The child, named Eli, was now living in a boarding school in the suburbs, under Madison's last name but without the father's name on the birth certificate. A whirlwind of emotions. Chelsea drove there in the pouring rain. Her hands shaking as she held the old photo Madison's mother had given her, a photo of the newborn wrapped in a pale blue blanket. When they got there, Chelsea stood at a distance watching the boy playing soccer with his classmates. His face, though still so young, had features that made her speechless. Those eyes, that chin, they were strangely similar to Thomas. There is no doubt. The child is the result of an affair, the crystallization of betrayal, the symbol of a living nightmare. The final question is, what will Chelsea do with this truth? Will she confront Madison? How will Chelsea overcome this shock? Will Madison dare to face the consequences of the secrets she once chose to bury? And what will happen to Eli, the child who knows nothing, when he learns the whole truth about his origin? Those painful questions are just the beginning of a series of tragedies that are silently coming. The confrontation between the past and the present has never been so fierce. Don't miss any moment in the next episodes of Beyond the Gates. Follow and subscribe to our channel today so you don't miss the next explosive episodes. Dramatic, surprising and emotional, Beyond the Gates will leave you even more amazed.